Greetings everyone, welcome to the Sonic Issue 281 review. If you're new to my reviews or need a reminder of current events, well first, new people, welcome, and I hope you enjoy this channel. And second, here's what's recently happened in the comic. Sonic's world shattered thanks to some space-time tampering, and the Hedgehog and his friends are trying to put it back together. This requires gathering the 7 Chaos Emeralds and 7 keys to unlock inner chambers of Gaia temples. As of now, the heroes have all 7 emeralds and 5 Gaia Keys. And the method for getting the Gaia Keys has been, for the most part, repetitive. But thankfully, this collectathon is reaching its end. So without further ado, let's get started. We begin with Sonic and company on Chun-Nan's Dragon Road fighting Egg Forces. To be fair, I do like this a little bit with Silver Sonic attacking Big from the back. For those who don't know, Big previously stopped a Silver Sonic in issue 253 and tossed the machine in the air so Sky Patrol could destroy it. Now if I were to guess, that Silver Sonic probably transmitted data from that fight to Eggman, which could explain why this Silver Sonic's attacking Big from behind. But that's speculation. Anyway, we know the drill. Our team's having a bit of trouble until local reinforcements arrive in the form of Dulcie the Dragon, who roasts Silver Sonic and pushed him off the edge of the road. After Dulcie introduces herself, we learn that she's been trying to form her own team, and she went to find Sonic's team when they didn't arrive at the rendezvous point. But hey, Dulcie found them and she invites them to meet the team and to lunch. When they arrive, Dulcie introduces her team: John the Tiger, Bunker the Tortoise, and Cinder the Pheasant. And you may notice that John is an ex-Egg Soldier, and the only visible cybernetic component is at the end of her tail. Anyway, Dulcie says they were the only ones to answer the call. Guess Dulcie used the same advertising agent as Thor and Oakenshield. As everyone eats lunch, we learn the Freedom Fighters are here for Zonshin, Temple Guardian and Keeper of the Guardian Keys for the region. He often goes to the temple grounds to make offers to the Phoenix Spirit, a lesser spirit that's the keeper of the Golden Flame, who's been acting funny recently. And that's why the Egg Army hasn't taken the temple yet. Cream asks why aren't more people helping Dulcie's team. Dulcie says it's because the different clans in the area have been fighting over territories and ideologies for centuries. Not even the threat of Eggman would unite them. This upsets Dulcie that years ago, she ran away all the way to West Side Island. Cue flashback to when she met a younger Sonic, Tails, and Sally. And apparently back then she was also a member of Starfleet. Back then, Dulcie was amazed that there were no clans, and they showed her the life of picking your friends based on who they are. Eventually, she got enough courage to return home and hopefully change some minds. It works as she has people from different clans joining her. Unfortunately, the local Egg Army has a similar idea, with unity through strength, welcoming everyone as long as they work hard, and having a leader that they love and has been an inspiration for them. But who cares about them? The main goal is the Gaia Keys. After asking around town, they found out Zonshin did go to the temple grounds this morning, which means it's time to rescue another Key Guardian. Thankfully, the Egg Army will not bother them. Oh hi Conquering Storm, see you back in Eggman's dozen. What our heroes do have to contend with is the corrupted spirit, Dark Gaia Phoenix. Our second story begins with Tails and Bunnie and Adabat looking for another Key Guardian. There's this little bit of the two discussing Bunnie's possible origin, but I'm sure that's not going to come up later. They come across a man next to a ruined home. This is Tianchi, the Key Guardian they were looking for, but he's in no mood to help since his home's a wreck. Even offers to help rebuild are rejected, and he tells them to get lost. The two walk around deck until they come across a shop run by KO, who just happens to be Tianchi's son. Tails and Bunnie explain that they need his father's help to save the world. This brings KO into action. First things first, he needs to gather the rest of the family. They confront Tianchi at the beach, stating that they're worried about him, and they've actually been working enough to start rebuilding. Tianchi says that the house belonged to his father and his father before him. He can't just rebuild it based on legacy. Well, it's time for Bunnie to break out the backstory. As a toddler, she was found on West Side Island by Rosie and Professor Chuck with nothing but her name and the clothes on her back. Sometime after she was injured and was roboticized, she was feeling like a freak until Tails and Ben Mudsky, remember him, had a little talk with her. And I see they're keeping the Rabot Rabot thing from the old continuity. Anyway, the point is that there are people like Rosie, Tails, and Ben that care for her no matter what she looks like. And it works as Bunnie is in a better mood by the end of the flashback. The point of the story is, you may lose everything, but you keep going if you got others to support you. For Bunnie, it's her friends. For Tianchi, it's his family. This snaps him out of his funk and sends KO to get the Gaia Keys. The family starts rebuilding, and Tails and Bunnie leave with another key set, bringing the total to 6. So as soon as Sonic's group gets the keys from Chun-Nan, it's time to put the world back together. But there's still one loose end that needs to be tied up, making sure Angel Island doesn't crash into the planet. Quick reminder, Knuckles shattered the Master Emerald again to prevent theft. Thanks to the world's current state, the island remains in the air. Now he is gathering the pieces along with Amy Rose and her Mystic Melody ability. They're slowly making progress, and their next destination is an egg base, and he'll need the help of an old friend to get them. I'm not going to waste time talking about repeated elements within the first story, so let's jump in with the reintroduction of Dulcie the Dragon. For those unaware, Dulcie made her debut in the second season of the Sonic Saturday morning cartoon series, and would go on to appear in the comics. Her likability among the fandom varied, but we're not here to talk about that. First and foremost, Dulcie got a massive redesign that at first kinda looked like a cross-dressing Vector the Crocodile with wings. Now, I'm slowly getting used to it. Her little arc involves putting together a team to fight the Egg Forces, and she's a little nervous about it. I can understand why. Change is never easy, and if you screw up royally, that's it for the cause. Dulcie, of course, started learning about these things by hanging around Sonic's scene for a while. This ties back to issue 257, in which Nicole said that Sally helped Dulcie. I might as well tackle this. Since the reboot, there have been a number of times during flashbacks when classic Sonic and Eggman clearly weren't seen or altered to look like squished versions of their modern selves. I'm not sure about the reason for this, but I've heard it's due to a mandate about not showing classic versions of Sega characters in the comics, and feel free to correct me on this, audience. If that's true, then this means that they're loosening the mandate because this is clearly classic Sonic. Maybe it's because it's the 25th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog this year. Who knows? Anyway, back to Dulcie and her team. When they were talking about the Phoenix, there's this flag banner thing present. Notice that the 4 animals surrounding it look like the members of Dulcie's team. And then again, there's this prophecy thing, so maybe that'll come to pass? Time for some game references. We have Zonshin. He's a village elder and master healer, and of course, he is the Gaia Temple Guardian in the PS2 Wii version of Unleashed. There's the level Dragon Road, which our heroes fought Badniks, and most importantly, there's the Dark Gaia Phoenix. It seems the plotline from the Chun-Nan portion of Unleashed is being adapted, as both the comic and the game mention that the Phoenix was corrupted by Dark Gaia energy. We'll see how this plays out when we get into part 2. Finally, there's Jamal Pepper's work, which I always enjoy. I'm giving this issue a 6.5. While the world building is nice, it's bogged down with a sense of been there, done that. I'll wait until the next issue before I judge Dulcie's team and the Dark Gaia Phoenix. Like the previous issue, the second story is better than the first, with no egg forces to fight, just helping a key guardian with personal issues. In this case, we have Tianchi upset about losing his family home thanks to, more than likely, the world being split apart. Which, by the way, was his subplot in the PS2 Wii version of Unleashed. And of course, he is Adabat's Temple Guardian in that same version. As we saw, he has 4 children, his sons Jamal and Kale, and his daughters Rudy and Nagi. Tianchi eventually rebuilds in the game thanks to his interactions with Sonic and Chip. But with those two currently in Chun-Nan in the comic, Tails and Bunnie step in. Especially Bunnie, because this story reveals a bit more about her origins. She was found on West Side Island as a toddler with no one else around, which begs the question, What happened to her family? Well, it is a good thing Rosie and Professor Chunk found her. Though this does bring up a question. Where did Bunnie pick up her southern accent? I'm sure someone in the comments will answer that. As I said earlier, the important thing about Bunnie's tale to Tianchi is that things happen beyond your control, and with friends and family by your side, you can help move on. Is this cheesy or cliche? That's up to you. But here's the thing. Disasters happen in real life to people all the time, like tornadoes, floods, and earthquakes, and homes are lost. This advice Bunnie gives can apply to anyone in that situation. That as long as you have support and the things that matter, everything will get better. One final note. We finally get to see how Knuckles and Amy are doing with their Emerald Hunt before their Sonic Universe arc. This story gets an 8. It has a message that can apply to real life, some backstory for Bunnie fans, and nice art from Jennifer Hernandez. Thank you for joining me for today's review, and as always, have a good day and be safe. Based on this line here, while Tails and Ben were talking with Bunnie, the events of this gang were happening off-panel.